With enhanced safety features and aerodynamic engineering, you'll get the best performance possible while being the coolest rider on the road.
Hello, Sony? Yeah, I'm going to cancel my PlayStation 5 Pro pre-order. I don't want it anymore. Tokyo Game Show kicked off this week. Microsoft had a showcase with a bunch of nice trailers. Sony had a showcase with a bunch of nice trailers. Yet, sadly, tonight I'm running with Ubisoft. Now, the reason for that is I actually think Ubisoft brought about the most interesting video game story this week. So Assassin's Creed Shadows was suddenly delayed on Wednesday. Its initial release date was November 12th. Now it is February 14th, 2025. To me, that's a small time deal. A 3-month delay, who even cares? But to Ubisoft, it's a big time deal because they're a big time video game publisher who, for the last few years running now, has just been losing money in various dumb ways. Look at me, I don't follow the markets, but I feel like this chart on a recent Reuters article is illustrative of the situation. Ubisoft, you stink. So if this gutter swimming Ubisoft is going to delay its biggest game of the year out of this year, it's going to be a situation where their CEO, Yves Guillemot, is going to have to say something about it. And the things he said are so candid and delusional and dishonest that I can't stop thinking about them. For this circumstance, I'm thinking about like this constantly melting candle of allure. Allure is the word of the day this week, as in the quality of being powerfully and mysteriously attractive or fascinating. You get what I'm saying? Something that is alluring cannot stay alluring forever, as much as I try. So when Assassin's Creed Shadows got delayed and they had to write their red tweet, this funny part of the message to me is how much they stress, oh, we know you've been waiting patiently for Assassin's Creed to do feudal Japan. We listened. We're finally doing it. Feudal Japan. And it's not hitting, right? It feels like it's too late. It feels like it's not a special thing anymore. It feels like that allure is gone. And they were probably getting some pre-order numbers that reflect that. Which leads to the first strange thing about all this. Assassin's Creed Shadows is not just delayed. It's being delayed, but with some extra concessions as well. We are departing from the traditional season pass model. I'm reading from a financial report they had to put out the day they announced this delay, by the way. But also, traditional season pass model. All players will be able to enjoy the game at the same time on February 14th, and those who pre-order the game will be granted the first expansion for free. So they're trying to spruce this up a little bit. The Ultimate Edition that previously came with 3 days early access, they're not doing that part anymore. Sorry, everyone. Sorry we even suggested that in the first place. We're sorry. Try to pre-order again, and it's a different pre-order this time. Perhaps most surprisingly, though, the game will mark the return of our new releases on Steam Day 1. They're acting like that's a cool announcement when it was just, that was their own thing, man. Previously, Ubisoft just didn't like giving Steam 30% of their revenue. Now, clearly, they just need that storefront. Now, clearly, with all of these things, you look at it, you say, Ubisoft, you knew. Hold on. You knew people didn't like those things, and you still did them. And they say, yeah, we did. We did. But now we're hurting for pre-orders, so we're cool now. Second really strange thing, we have to introduce this. Insider Gaming received and published this internal Ubisoft memo that was also sent out the same day as the delay announcement. A lot of the language is very similar to the financial report they also published, but there's some parts that are very particular and different. But in both cases, Yves is trying to convince everyone that the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows is okay because there's still a chance Star Wars Outlaws could be a hit. This part is memo only. While players praise the sense of detail and the beauty of the graphics, the effectiveness of the reputation system, and endearing characters like Nyx, some also noted areas of improvement. The development teams are already hard at work on this, focusing on save states, stealth mechanics, more frequent quest checkpoints, and better NPC AI. And I'm looking at this and I say, you knew? Ubisoft, you knew? Because yeah, tough time to reveal this. I've been playing Star Wars Outlaws for the last 2 weeks. And yes, the checkpoints are very bad. So yeah, you can be playing this And your endearing AI little buddy Nyx, who is essential for solving some puzzles, he can just stop sometimes. He can just not work anymore. And because there's no checkpoints, you have to load a save from 20 minutes ago. It's very annoying. And Ubisoft, they're saying, yeah, we know that sucks. To me, it's still silly. That's part of an internal memo, though. Like they're getting scolded in front of the class. Like the X-Defiant team is going to get anything out of that. But the following sentence is where things really just tip over for me. It says, I'm confident that these updates will significantly improve the player experience by allowing us to deliver on its promise and make Star Wars Outlaws a must-play game and long-term seller. You gotta be kidding me. In parallel, the publishing teams and developers are closely collaborating to increase the engagement with the game and boost player acquisition during Black Friday and the holiday season. You can't possibly be that delusional to think that just sprucing up the AI a little bit, getting the publishing team to up the engagement, will suddenly turn this into a holiday hit? It's over, man. It's over. The allure of this new title is gone. I'm saying this as somebody who likes playing this game. To be clear, I really do like this game, but if somebody doesn't like it now, those minor improvements won't change their opinion of it. The core of what's so wrong here is way up here. Star Wars Outlaws' initial sales proved softer than expected, despite solid ratings from players that recognize the game's faithful transcription of the original trilogy's essence and richness, 76 on Metacritic, 3.85 out of 5 on PS Store, around 4 out of 5 on Xbox, and 4.4 out of 5 on Epic. So pretty good, right? That's not it. Here's the thing, is most people when they're crawling through a vent and they turn to their left and they look through a grate, most people don't say, whoa, that's Boba Fett. I did, and I took this screenshot. But I'm simple. I'm a simple person. Most people will never be impressed by a cameo by Boba Fett ever again. Disney has made sure of that. They have evaporated the allure of that character. It's just an example. But when you believe the main appeal of this game is that it's a faithful transcription of the original trilogy's essence and richness, you've already lost. Look at the season pass. You're going to need something wild. You're going to need an intimate Ferris wheel ride with Darth Jar Jar. I'm serious about this, to get people engaged. People who already wrote off this game are so done unless you go wild. Star Wars allure is at an all-time low. You have to go nuts. Let's see what that Gungan tongue can do. Finally, let me address Ease's final statement. Finally, let me address some of the polarized comments around Ubisoft lately. You gotta assume there he's talking about the YouTube controversies surrounding these two games, particularly the assertions that Star Wars Outlaws made its female protagonist intentionally unattractive, or that in Assassin's Creed Shadows, the historical figure Yasuke was given too much power. Obviously, those aren't really warranting a CEO to comment on. However, we've all seen the YouTube thumbnails. Those videos are just out there, bro. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company, creating games for the broadest possible audience. And our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. What is he even saying? I don't know how to assess that. I can't tell if he's standing by the diversity or promising to never do it again. But meanwhile, investors are looking at Ghosts of Yotei. They see these shots. They hear this music. And you know what? They feel the allure. When a conference call Ubisoft held the same day as the Assassin's Creed delay, one investor actually explicitly asked about Ghost of Yotei and if there's room for both of these games in 2025. And so Yves essentially said, we'll both do good. There's room for both. Ours is special because we got the dual protagonists and feudal Japan. Ubisoft. Bless your heart. And that's Delayed Input. I'll be back next week. Until then, thanks for watching. I want to show you the greatest villain of Star Wars Outlaws. The main villain is this guy. There's nothing compelling about this guy. Frankly, I don't care if he wins or loses by the end of the story. I'm not invested in this man. The greatest villain of my playthrough sits at this sabacc table, and I bet you can already guess who it is. Yeah, it's this guy. His name is Markin. So sabacc is basically a poker game where your hand only has 2 cards. And so you have 3 rounds to make the best 2-card hand possible. Markin has this special ability where he can make anyone at the table discard their hand and draw 2 new cards. And he always picks me to do this to. I'd be rolling into round 3 with a winning hand, and Markin would just destroy it. So I said earlier I don't care what happens to the antagonist, right? I don't. I want to ruin Markin's life. And I think that's actually like a beautiful video game thing, right? What actually organically happened during this card game made me hate this character more than any snappy, crackling dialogue possibly could have. Ubisoft, if you want Star Wars Outlaws to have long legs, if you want people to continually play that game, I got a pitch for you. It's called the shit list system. Now, it's a little like the Nemesis system from those Lord of the Rings games, but they have a patent on that. This is very different. How this works is you can add any NPC in the game to your shit list. And so basically what I want here is while Markin is away, you can sneak into his apartment and like spread alien guts under his bed sheets. What I'm saying is I want to knock his toilet over. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, well, how is this quest design? What sort of loot are you going to have? This is going to mess up with our reputation system. Don't worry about that. I don't need currency rewards. All I want is to see his stupid face when he wakes up and he sees he's got blue milk in his boots. Take that, Markin, you piece of shit.